The billionaire, the visionary, and now, the politician? In a dramatic political comeback, Donald Trump has returned to the White House, but he didn't do it alone.
Come here, Elon! Did you see his rocket yesterday? It was captured. And X is with him. X. Come on, Elon, say a couple of words. Okay.
It's not every day that you see a tech billionaire stepping into the political spotlight like this. But Elon Musk is no ordinary billionaire. With nearly $200 million in campaign contributions and an all-out media blitz on X, Musk became one of the biggest political donors in U.S. history. Even under the Supreme Court Citizens United ruling, which allows unlimited corporate spending on elections, his influence is unprecedented. And the rewards, they came instantly. Tesla's stock soared after Trump's victory. Musk's net worth jumped by $300 billion in a single day, and this is just the beginning. Trump is about to make him even richer. Now, he's in a position to become Trump's most influential business ally. Some even call him the de facto vice president. This is what Elon Musk sacrifices the American economy for. Musk is no longer just building electric cars and launching rockets. He's reshaping the American government itself. There's a word for people like this: oligarch. And not just any oligarch. If you combine Taylor Swift's fame, Warren Buffett's financial genius, and Rupert Murdoch's media empire, you'd get Elon Musk. But an oligarch isn't made overnight. Elon Musk's journey started far from Wall Street or Silicon Valley. Born in 1971 in South Africa, his early years were far from glorious. He was bullied at school and endured emotional trauma from his father. At just 12 years old, he coded a video game and sold it to a magazine for $500, his first taste of entrepreneurship. Fast forward a few years, and Musk was launching company after company. His first big payday? $22 million. How? He co-founded Zip2, an online business directory similar to Google Maps meets Yellow Pages, and sold it to Compaq in 1999 for $307 million. Musk personally walked away with $22 million from the deal. His second payday? $180 million. How? He co-founded X.com, not the Twitter. It was an online banking startup that later became PayPal. When eBay acquired PayPal in 2002 for $1.5 billion, Musk received $180 million from the sale. And then he did something most people would never dare. He bet half of the money on the craziest ideas on Earth, building rockets and electric cars. But it was way more costly than he thought. SpaceX's first 3 rockets exploded. Tesla was bleeding money, and Musk was days away from bankruptcy. He had to put up the rest of the money as well. But then he succeeded. He sent a rocket to space. NASA gave SpaceX a lifeline contract. Tesla perfected its production line, and Musk became the wealthiest man on Earth. Now, he isn't just changing industries anymore, he's changing the political landscape itself. So what does Elon Musk want from this newfound power? He wants a lot of things from Donald Trump. Musk's rise to political kingmaker wasn't planned, or was it? It all started in 2022 when he made a seemingly reckless business move, buying Twitter for $44 billion.
There is one thing which is new, and that is the new form of capital that these people actually possess. It's not a produced means of production, it's a produced means of behavioral modification. It's effectively a new hyperweapon. They possess, which, a Henry Ford, a Thomas Edison, a Westinghouse, a Rockefeller didn't. It effectively turns capital, cloud capital, into a gigantic parasite.
At first, people said he destroyed the platform. And from a business standpoint, that's true, because Twitter is now worth 80% less than what Musk paid for it. Investors called it a disaster, and ad revenue collapsed. But here's the thing. Musk never saw Twitter as a business deal. Instead, he saw it as a weapon, a tool to fight back against what he believes is a left-wing, woke culture war, and a way to put himself at the center of American politics. His biographer, Walter Isaacson, put it bluntly. There's almost a demon mode of Elon Musk where he turns really dark, and that can be very problematic, especially when it came to acquiring Twitter. One of his first major moves, reinstating Donald Trump's account.
Let me ask you, should I keep the Twitter going or not? Keep it going?
Trump had been permanently banned in 2022 following the January 6th insurrection, and reinstating him was Musk's way of declaring free speech is back.
But I don't think he cares about free speech unless it is his own free speech.
And Musk wasn't just unlocking Trump's account, he was manipulating the platform to boost him. With one move, Musk gave Trump a platform, an audience, and a newfound legitimacy. But that didn't just bring him back into the conversation. He helped make him more electable. Young, tech-savvy men who idolize Musk started seeing Trump differently. Elon Musk's endorsement gave Trump credibility in business circles, so Trump's voice was amplified louder than ever before. It was like having Hulk Hogan speaking at Madison Square Garden for you.
I'm not just MAGA. I'm dark, gothic MAGA.
This is like a mutually beneficial business arrangement, right? Trump got money and got elected. Musk gets sway over the federal government. The Trump-Musk alliance isn't just about elections, influence, or Twitter, X. It's about power. Real, institutional power. Elon Musk has been given a government role that sounds like something out of a satire, but it's very real. At a packed rally in Madison Square Garden, billionaire Howard Lutnick took the stage and introduced Musk to the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the greatest capitalist in the history of the United States of America, Elon Musk!
Then, Musk took the mic and said the most Elon thing possible. We've set up DOGE. Yes, I think the funniest name is DOGE, the DOGE Department of Government Efficiency. At first, it sounded like a joke, but make no mistake, Musk wants the federal government to get out of his way. Former President Donald Trump has proposed a new Department of Government Efficiency with the ambitious goal of cutting federal spending and reducing waste. This new department would partner with the White House and the Office of Management and Budget, OMB, to oversee and execute major budget reductions, something Trump has described as the Manhattan Project of our time, comparing it to the urgent, high-stakes scientific effort that developed the atomic bomb during World War II.
Did you see his rocket yesterday? It was captured.
However, this initiative is not intended to be a permanent fixture in government. The department's work is scheduled to be concluded by July 4th, 2026, meaning Elon Musk has just 18 months to implement any meaningful reforms. The question is, can he actually achieve this in such a short time frame?
There was like an old joke from that is kind of telling. Why did the Japanese car companies beat the American car companies? In the Japanese car company, you had 8 people rowing and 1 person steering. And in the American car company, you had 8 people steering and 1 person rowing, if this was a boat.
According to Musk, the national debt is spiraling out of control, and government inefficiency is making the problem worse. The numbers support his concern. Trump's economic policies, which include massive tax cuts and increased spending, are projected to add $8 trillion to the national debt over the next decade. This would push the budget deficit to over 10% of GDP, a level that economists warn could trigger serious long-term financial instability. The real problem isn't just the debt itself, it's the vicious cycle it creates. The government overspends, this increases inflation. To combat inflation, the Federal Reserve raises interest rates. Higher interest rates make it harder for the government to repay its debt, so the government borrows even more money, and the cycle repeats itself. Musk believes that breaking this cycle is critical to stabilizing the US economy. He argues that by eliminating government waste, the US can reduce borrowing and increase GDP effectively, lowering the debt to GDP ratio. But here's the catch. How does he actually plan to do this? For Musk's plan to work, he would need to slash $2 trillion from the federal budget before mid-2026. However, this level of budget reduction is almost impossible without making major cuts to essential programs, including Social Security, Medicare and Medicaid, and the defense budget. The problem? Congress has to approve these cuts, and history has shown that lawmakers are unwilling to make such drastic reductions. For example, a Republican senator recently proposed a bill to cut spending by 6% every year until the budget was balanced. Result? Even Republicans voted it down because they refused to reduce defense spending. This highlights a key challenge for Musk. Even if he wants to cut spending, politicians may not be willing to sacrifice their priorities, especially when it comes to military funding, entitlements, and election promises. Has any country tried this before? Yes, and the closest modern example comes from Argentina. When President Javier Milei took office, he cut Argentina's federal budget by 35% in just 1 year, implementing some of the most extreme austerity measures ever seen in a developed economy. What did Milei do? Shut down 13 government ministries, fired 10% of all civil servants, and eliminated entire welfare programs. The result? It worked. Argentina saw a reduction in inflation and improved economic indicators, but it came at a steep cost for ordinary citizens who faced massive layoffs, social unrest, and severe economic hardship. Musk has acknowledged that his own version of this plan would also involve some temporary hardship. There is one major difference between the Argentina case study and the United States, though. Argentina's voters actively chose Milei, fully aware that his policies would bring short-term economic pain. Trump, on the other hand, campaigned on promises of an immediate economic boom, including tax cuts, lower inflation, and increased prosperity. So it's unclear whether Trump would be willing to accept the political consequences of such extreme measures. This raises a critical question. Would American voters tolerate the kind of sacrifices necessary to make Musk's plan work?
The future is gonna be amazing!
Elon Musk has publicly acknowledged what 23 Nobel Prize-winning economists have already predicted. When Trump and Musk's radical government spending cuts take effect, the US will face a severe recession. Despite the warnings, many Republican voters aren't taking the threat seriously. Or perhaps they don't fully understand who actually benefits from recessions. Because while a recession could mean job losses, foreclosures, and financial ruin for millions of Americans, for billionaires, it's an opportunity. In fact, history shows that economic downturns don't just fail to hurt the ultra-wealthy, they often make them even richer. The super-rich don't just survive economic crashes, they thrive on them. When the economy collapses, ordinary people are forced to sell their assets at a loss, whether that's stocks, businesses, or even their homes. Meanwhile, billionaires are sitting on piles of cash ready to buy everything at a discount. This isn't speculation, it's a documented pattern that has played out for over a century. The Great Depression in the 1930s is actually the birth of America's billionaire class today. Joe Kennedy, father of JFK, bought stocks at record low prices and even acquired a Hollywood studio while millions of Americans were unemployed. He became one of the richest men in America because of the Great Depression. J. Paul Getty, oil magnate, his famous strategy: buy when everyone else is selling and hold until everyone else is buying. On the day of the Great Crash of 1929, Getty skipped his parents' golden wedding anniversary to go to Wall Street and start buying stocks at rock-bottom prices. He later wrote that the Great Depression was, quote, the opportunity of a lifetime to acquire oil companies for practically nothing. End result? These men weren't ruined by the economic collapse. They built empires. The 2008 financial crisis has the same pattern. In 2008, the housing market collapsed, triggering the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. Over 10 million Americans lost their homes to predatory banking practices. The stock market crashed, home values plummeted 21%, and entire industries collapsed. 8 million Americans lost their jobs. But while working-class Americans were liquidating their savings, withdrawing retirement funds at massive penalties just to survive, billionaires were quietly buying up everything. Steve Mnuchin, later Trump's Treasury Secretary, nicknamed the Foreclosure King, he personally oversaw the evictions of 30,000 families in California alone. His hedge fund bought up distressed mortgage loans and profited off of people losing their homes. End result, billionaires got richer, regular Americans got wiped out.
Massive, overwhelming sweep
Of poor people's money. The pandemic devastated the economy, but once again it became a golden era for the ultra-wealthy. U.S. billionaires saw their collective net worth skyrocket by 62% in just 1 year, 2020. Globally, billionaire wealth increased by 27% during the pandemic. Meanwhile, working-class Americans struggled with unemployment, medical debt, and business closures. And here's the most shocking part. Since 1981, billionaires' real tax rates have dropped by 79%. That means while billionaires made record profits, they paid historically low taxes on their windfalls. Elon Musk isn't hiding the fact that a recession is coming, he's admitting it openly. Because for him, it's not a crisis, it's a buying opportunity.
Listen, Trump's gonna come in, he's gonna do some things, and the economy is immediately going to crash. A lot of people are gonna suffer. People are gonna lose their jobs, incomes are gonna go down, stock market's gonna crash, your life savings is gonna be wiped out. All that is pretty bad, right? And Elon Musk like, sounds about right.
Because for billionaires, recessions are nothing more than a chance to expand their power. For everyone else, they mean job losses, housing crashes, and financial ruin. Musk lives by a completely different set of rules than the average American. His wealth isn't tied to a paycheck. It's tied to investments, equity, and assets that grow exponentially. He has access to capital that allows him to buy everything at a discount while others go broke. He can afford to wait out a recession while ordinary people struggle to survive. And if Trump's spending cuts trigger the very recession Musk is predicting, Musk will be one of the biggest winners. So of course Elon Musk is saying, yeah, we're gonna cause a recession and you know it'll be a good thing. Well, it'll be a good thing for him. Billionaires live and operate by different rules than you and me. So how about Elon's companies? Tesla wants government approval for full self-driving cars and robo-taxis. Neuralink wants the FDA to legalize brain implants. SpaceX wants billions more in defense and space contracts. And Starlink wants subsidies and military deals. If Musk wasn't directly involved in Washington, government agencies like the Security and Exchange Commission, the SEC, the Department of Justice, the DOGE, National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, NHTSA, and Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, would independently review and regulate his companies. While advocating for reduced federal oversight, Musk is also positioning himself to secure billions in government contracts. SpaceX has already received substantial funding from the US government, with contracts worth billions of dollars awarded between 2009 and 2024. However, if Musk and Trump's partnership strengthens, those previous deals may seem minor compared to the scale of future contracts. Given the enormous challenges of colonizing Mars, achieving such an ambitious goal without the backing of a global superpower would be nearly impossible. Musk is eager to obtain as many government contracts as possible and would benefit greatly from a president willing to launch a new Mars initiative, one that would unsurprisingly rely on SpaceX to send the rockets.
Did you see his rocket yesterday? It was captured.
Meanwhile, Starlink, SpaceX's satellite-based internet network, is already operational in approximately 100 countries. The company has also applied for FCC licenses to expand coverage into rural areas, further extending its global reach.
25-year-old with Elon Musk ties has directly access to the federal payment system. I guess he's got admin privileges. It says here, typically those admin privileges could give someone power to log into servers through secure shell access, navigate the entire file system, change user permissions, and delete or modify critical files, okay? They have access to the payments for Social Security, tax returns, and more, so a lot.
Under normal circumstances, Musk would be expected to recuse himself from policy decisions that directly benefit his businesses. However, with Trump 2.0, traditional conflict of interest rules may no longer apply. Musk has built a reputation as both a shrewd businessman and an aggressive cost cutter. In 2022, he slashed Twitter's workforce by 80% in a matter of weeks, dismissing employees almost casually. Earlier this year, Tesla underwent similar layoffs with around 20% of its workforce cut abruptly. For federal employees, civil servants, and labor unions representing government workers, Musk's involvement in Washington could be deeply concerning. If his aggressive cost-cutting strategies are applied to government agencies, massive layoffs and sweeping budget reductions may follow, because Musk has proposed cutting up to $2 trillion from the federal budget. Where would these cuts come from? Social Security, Medicare and Medicaid, veterans benefits, and federal agencies regulating business and technology. Even with a Republican-controlled Congress, it's highly unlikely that lawmakers would approve major cuts to entitlement programs because it would be political suicide. The most alarming risk: if Musk has control over government spending, he could halt or influence investigations into his own business empire. Right now, between 6 and 12 different federal investigations are targeting Elon Musk's companies, from Tesla to SpaceX to Neuralink. But the bigger question: what happens if Musk gains enough power to control the federal budget? And if there's one thing we learned from Trump's first presidency, it's that your job title in the White House doesn't matter. What matters is who has Trump's ear. And right now, that person is Elon Musk. Musk and Trump have a complicated relationship. Musk and Trump are very similar men. Both love attention. They always want to be the main character. Both hate bureaucracy. They believe rules exist to be bent or broken. Both have massive egos, and history suggests giant personalities don't share power easily. So how long can they really stay aligned without clashing? The answer: they need each other. Trump needs Musk for his money, tech expertise, and social media empire. Musk needs Trump for government contracts, deregulation, and budget control. And that's what makes this alliance different. Because unlike past business-friendly presidents, Trump isn't just helping Musk's companies succeed. He's actively giving Musk a role in shaping the future of the US government. And that level of influence, it's worth billions. Please subscribe to us for videos like this. Thank you for watching.